Welcome to this App Advisory Plus App Insights webinar. I'm Rowan Van Tromp, Operations Manager here at App Advisory Plus, and I'm delighted to be joined by Matthew Peng, Partner and Product Evangelist at Scoro. Scoro helps plan your team's time and projects, manage your clients, send invoices, and keep track of business results. Thank you for joining us, Matthew.
Thank you for having me, Rowan.
We're really pleased to have you. But before we get stuck into Scoro, I'll give a brief introduction about App Advisory Plus, and then I'll hand over to you to give us a high-level overview of Scoro, including what features you have and your integrations. So to go through App Advisory Plus, we're a platform that supports accountants and bookkeepers to deliver profitable app advisory services. And we do that in three different ways. Firstly, we have an app stack builder that helps you to find the right combinations of apps for your clients across a wide range of sectors. Secondly, we have a software agnostic independent directory of apps with key product information, integration information, videos, and member reviews. And to complement this, we have our app support channels, and these include a knowledge base of information on apps with a standardized structure to help you find what you're looking for, a community of accounting and bookkeeping professionals that you can discuss app-related questions and problems with, and that features a powerful search functionality to help you find answers to questions that your peers have already asked. And if you still can't find the answer you're looking for, we have a specialist support service so that you can ask your questions to an expert and get an answer in one business day. So I'm really interested to find out what the driver was for Scoro getting involved in App Advisory Plus. Do you think you could just give us a brief answer on what was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, for sure. Scoro is absolutely a new entrant in market, especially for the UK. And we're wanting to really bring about awareness to advisors looking for, reliable and credible information that will ensure that they can become better positioned with their clients to understand the pros and cons and benefits of moving to project management and all-in-one business solution like Scoro.
Awesome, and I'm sure that our members are going to find this webinar really useful in understanding what Scoro can do in that regard. So if I hand over to you now, will you be able to just take us through the project with the product?
Yeah, of course. So just to reiterate again, Scoro is a all-in-one business management tool, managing everything from sales, CRM, project management, and resource planning. Those would be the three core pillars of what Scoro is about, comprehensively bringing it into one solution that resonates beautifully in definable dashboards for people within the organization. It was founded in 2011, so that was founded by Fred Krieger, who had a business need and wanted to have a way in which he could organize his diary, his resources, and really get full visibility without overcomplicating and duplication of work. Since then, we've grown to 100 employees around the globe and setting up offices in the US, UK, and Baltic states and regions as well. We comprise of about 50% of the business is focused on development, and the other half are with a sales, marketing, and support function in the business.
And what kind of presence do you have in the UK?
Yeah, so we've got our marketing and sales head office functions out of the UK. So they're really trying to grow and expand with all the professional service-based businesses that are headquartered out of the UK, and certainly satellite offices for other parts of the world as well.
And so does that mean it kind of, if you've got a license with Scoro and you ask a support question or you're wanting to get a demo organised, that would all be kind of based out of someone in the UK?
Yeah, so we cover full business hour support 5 days a week for the UK, and that extends over to other time zones as well. Um, we are growing our team out in the UK. We've probably launched offices over a year now, and with plans for rapid growth to support and onboard businesses throughout the UK.
Brilliant. That's exactly the kind of information that people are looking for when they're researching an app.
Perfect. So just a little bit about some of the notoriety that we've received, certainly from our customers, which is the lifeblood of why we exist. We've been noted as being one of the most easiest to use business solutions in market, regularly receiving high praise and reviews. And certainly from our standpoint, we thrive on that in terms of the way in which we develop product and release and enhance to ensure that we continue to maintain that standard and keep up with regards to the notoriety as well. We would say that Scoro is ideal for any professional service-based business, ideally targeted towards agencies and consulting houses. And this would be either just with one local office or distributed across multiple offices within a country, or multi-country and regions as well. In terms of some of the high-level case studies that you can see here, for instance, Brandality, they've increased their utilization by 50%. And certainly being able to record better quality information gives them the ability to measure changes in that utilization. Team efficiency increasing 2 times over. Again, that also speaks to being able to track and measure what work is actually bringing about efficiency and chargeable work, and being able to focus on that and bring that to the forefront as well. And then with the likes of Air Guru being a startup, they were able to track and grow their business in a short period of time with results of 40% plus sales revenue growth. So those are some case studies that you can absolutely visit from our website and learn a little bit more about their stories.
And having read through some of these myself, I think that they're in really good depth, and probably a really good resource to look at when you're in the kind of research and evaluation stage of your app advisory services. If you're looking at various different apps, this provides rich information about how Scoro is helping these businesses, and you can use that to kind of pick and choose the information that's relevant to your clients.
Perfect. So this is what the Scoro tries to solve as a common business problem. Many disparate applications being used by various parts of the organization, and trying to organize that into sort of 3 core pillars of business process: selling it, doing it, and billing it. And you can sort of see the way in which we try to organize that information as well. The other thing that you'll see there as well is that we surface dashboards and reports to be able to filter real-time information to users and management, and give detailed reports for historical information as well.
So what it's really an all-in-one solution there, and you've got all of the information you need to make a project decision in one place. Is that the overall aim?
That's right. That's right. I think dashboards have always been the holy grail of business systems, so that they can get that real-time insight. And certainly by having everything under one banner, it certainly enables that to become a reality, versus having a dashboard that sits over several disparate applications, and questioning the quality of the data behind it as well. So just to give you a high-level overview of some of the features that are available and some of the areas that we address. With regards to sales, we offer a sales pipeline functionality that allows you to manage the progress of opportunities, understanding the total turnaround time, being able to create quotes with in-depth price lists in multiple currencies, and also offering visibility to various stakeholders and team members, tracking the progress of those opportunities right through to delivery. And with regards to 360-degree overview of each customer, you get the capability to sort of see how many quotes have been prepared in the past for clients, how many other activities and interactions that are occurring for projects that are in flight. And so you really get a true sense of what's actually being managed by that client in real time and historically as well. Once a sale or a quote has converted across through to a project, you get the ability to track the timeline as phases of a project. You will also have the ability to determine who can see certain aspects of the project, whether it be financially focused, probably kept at a project manager level. And then the business staff who track time, manage calendar entries, and timesheets for projects as well can also be all seen from within here to understand the progress of the project based on time and budget versus actual. Now, Scoro does focus on a holistic time management sort of approach to its organizations. It likes to factor in the integration of calendars so that it can really get a true sense of the resources that are available inside the organization and what's secured and locked up and what's available for staff to take on new work as part of being able to integrate and consolidate calendar information centrally. It then gives a real true understanding of utilization and attributes to different projects and clients by being able to link and label those tasks, calendar entries, or activities associated with clients and projects as well.
And you can do things like approving timesheets in here as well?
Yes, you can approve timesheet entries against the projects. You can also lock time as on a weekly basis as well, so effectively approve time as a weekly level, and also approve time at a project level.
Brilliant.
From a finances standpoint, we're able to integrate with cloud-based systems such as Xero and QuickBooks Online to be able to transpose invoice information and bills through from Scoro into those various accounting systems. You'll be able to track and forecast revenue and expenditure budgets across the business, by division, by regions, and even by key clients as well, and be able to track and compare those to invoices scheduled, whether they be within 12 months, 24 or 36. There is no limit, but certainly there may be major projects that can span the course of 12 months, so you're able to really forecast well and truly into the future. Also, one of the key benefits that I'd like to call out is the fact that it is also a multi-currency application. So you'll be able to quote and bill in multiple currencies, and you'll be able to report everything back into your base currency, and the ability to also integrate those currencies with the likes of Xero and QuickBooks as well. Now, with regards to reporting, the two main methods that I spoke about earlier with regards to reporting were dashboards and also standard management reports. With regards to dashboards, you can curate those for individual role types, and that data will then be filtered for the access rights of that user to understand if they can and can't see certain financial information, and or levels of customer detail as well. When these widgets are devised, they are effectively a source in which you can now, when you log into Scoro, focus on what needs your attention and be able to click into any of those items to investigate what's behind the scenes that makes up those numbers or measurements as well. This real-time sort of reporting is made available due to the fact that you have the flexibility to set mandatory fields on standard and custom fields inside throughout the application. So that really then ensures the integrity of the data quality is high at data capture, and then we'll obviously update that dashboard in real time. You can also get a sense of performance and historical performance through the likes of the standard management reports that we produce. And lastly, you can always produce filtered lists that are able to be bookmarked for your review and analysis within each of the various modules as well. So that would be your way in which you could then filter, either interrogate or potentially export and analyze if you wanted to separately in a static fashion as well.
So in terms of the dashboard that we're seeing there, that is quite flexible. That's just an example there. You could have different widgets for each different KPI that you're interested in tracking.
That's correct. So very commonly you'll have widgets that reflect, target sales that you want to do for the week and month, success and closure rates of quotes, to understand what's been billed and what's been collected each month as well. And that could be month to date or year to date measurements.
And these are out of the box things that are just available to pick.
Yes, there is a library of available bookmarks and widgets that you can draw from. But as your business gets set up, you may want to further refine those to focus on a specific business division or country or region as well. So you can even make that more focused to what matters most to you, or what KPIs drive that line of business or that particular user or person as well.
And if a business needs help in getting those set up, is that the kind of support that you provide?
Absolutely, absolutely. As part of the onboarding, we would explain to you how to devise and set up these various widgets as a principle and rule, and you'll soon gather and see the capability to filter and refine those searches to make sure you only service the data that you want to see.
Brilliant.
Scoro offers a native integration to all the various apps that you see on screen here, most notably Xero and QuickBooks. And we would invite you to sort of investigate and integrate with the likes of Calendar for Office and Google. We've also got an extensive Google Drive integration, marketing integration through MailChimp, timesheets capability through Toggle, and an extended universe of other web-based applications via Zapier.
And if we just focused in on these individually, do you think we could go through the accounting integrations in a little bit more detail?
Of course.
Just to understand, how the data sync works. Can you choose what gets synced? Like when does data move across?
Of course. I would suggest from my standpoint, Xero would be the most comprehensive integration that we have. And I'd say that Scoro would be one of the more comprehensive solutions that would integrate with Xero, for the fact that it actually allows for multiple accounting files effectively to be integrated with Xero. So you can have multi-jurisdictions, separate set of books and accounts to be able to invoice from within Scoro that would directly feed into the various Xero files. It integrates chart of accounts, tax codes, and a single tracking category, as well as being able to sync in both ways, price and services, contacts, invoices and bills, and then any receipted invoices from Xero can then update Scoro as well. The synchronization can be done manually or set to automatic, which would then effectively update every 5 minutes and collects the latest batch of financial data to be synced. But certainly the individual user can sync a transaction manually themselves at time of entry if they needed it real-time passing of data into Xero. Similarly, this integration works in the same way for QuickBooks Online, but also offers an extended project number integration with QuickBooks Online.
And if I just investigated one of the aspects a little bit further, in terms of bills moving into Scoro, one of the things that a lot of businesses and certainly accountants will be doing is some pre-accounting apps that capture those purchase invoices and expenses, such as Receipt Bank or Auto Entry, HubDoc.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're saying is we can still use those. The data will go into Xero, and then it can feed back in and get tracked against the project using one of the tracking categories or a naming convention.
Yes, you could. You could certainly integrate bills from Xero into Scoro. Those bills would need to be classified against the project, however. More formally, you would want to match those bills against any purchase orders to then generate the bills back into Xero. We are planning to work with a cloud solution in market. It's probably a little bit too early to announce, but to be able to OCR read bills to match against purchase orders and then ultimately create those bills into Xero as well.
Brilliant. That's really interesting to hear. I don't think there's too many project management solutions that have gone down that route yet. So I think you'd be kind of first to market in that sense.
Yeah, it's very prominent in the manufacturing and inventory sector, but not really seen in the professional service and project management application. So yeah, we're excited to work on that and announce that.
I'm definitely interested in
release.
keeping up to date with that one. If we moved on just to Zapier, I'm really interested in this because it's such a broad range of integrations that they have. Could you just maybe give some of the examples of some typical Zaps that you see people using
Sure.
connection for?
Yeah, sure. So, for instance, if businesses use Slack as a means to communicate internally about projects or work, certainly when a project is added in Scoro, it could then create a channel in Slack, and then any comments created or entries created in Slack, the Slack channel could also then be added as project comments to just ensure that everything is rolled up to that Scoro project for tracking purposes ongoing. Because obviously we can archive and close down channels in Slack. So it just keeps everything back into the one place and location if need be. So that's a very common use case. You may also offer Google Forms and issue Google Forms to collect company and contact data. That information can flow directly into Scoro if you're wishing to trap and collect information via the means of Google Forms. And for our sort of development houses that use apps like Jira, for instance, when a Jira issue is created, we can also create a task in Scoro, and then that will be useful for time capture and assignment against a company and or project if set up. And that also is the case for the likes of Zendesk as well. If you're managing your support desk via Zendesk, you can also create tasks inside of Scoro for time tracking and ultimately for billing if it's done on a time basis as well.
That's brilliant. So you're really using Zapier there. You've got a fair amount of triggers and actions available, presumably, so that you're not having to integrate with every single app that people are using. But if people are using those, then they can get data flowing in and out of Scoro through Zapier.
Yeah, for sure.
Brilliant. So if we moved on to Google, because I know you said you're quite keen on covering this in detail. It's a really good integration that you've got. Could you just run through some scenarios where the Google integration becomes like really powerful for a typical customer?
Yeah, of course. Google Drive integration in particular, whereby you're able to add and delete and synchronize files, but at a client and project level. When the project members are set up within the project in Scoro, those same user permissions are then allocated against the project or client folder in Drive, or in this case, the project folder. So you're not having to go back and needing to manage those permissions. And then very simply, you're able to create Google files such as docs, sheets, and slides from within the project that will also get synchronized back into that folder. So all the file creation can be done from within Scoro, and then later tracked if necessary inside of Drive. But you've also got the extended search and filter capability of Google document types inside of Scoro under the files module as well.
Brilliant. So you can kind of manage all of your documents, even though they're not actually being created through Scoro's own document system. You're using Google Drive, which is really powerful, and then bringing everything back in so it's accessible for people that need it.
Yeah, it really does promote that collaboration from whichever application, if it's from Drive or from within Scoro. You're not having to always jump in and out of the system. You can do most things from within Scoro, and if anything does get added to Drive, then it will surface itself against the project in Scoro.
Fantastic. And so lastly, I'm interested in finding out a little bit more about how the calendar function works in terms of the sync, as well as one of the key things is busy free. How does that?
Sure. So the main statuses of calendar entries for both Microsoft Office 365 or Exchange, as well as Google Calendar, can track whether it's busy or free, as well as tentative. And in addition to that, if you've got private calendar events, those marked inside of those calendars will also appear as private entries inside of Scoro and will not be attributed against your productivity and utilization.
And those events, they're moving into the time as well, are they?
That's right. After a calendar entry elapses, that automatically converts into a timesheet entry, so that it can be locked down, and then hopefully it's attributed to a client or project or task. If it's created from within Scoro itself, it will automatically allow you to assign those, so that the utilization against the project and client can be mapped immediately. And the integration can be synced both one way or two ways, and that's independent for each individual inside the organization. So each individual can determine whether or not they want to use Scoro as their primary calendar source of truth, or if they wanted to use their own discrete calendar solution to roll up into Scoro for further classification around chargeable, non-chargeable activity.
Perfect. So what you would recommend then is people kind of use their calendar to manage their time, and then from there they get the end result of how much time has been spent across different projects.
That's correct.
And I've just noticed as well, you've got MailChimp on there. Do you want to just briefly just talk through how that MailChimp integration works, what you can do with that?
Of course. The CRM component of Scoro allows you to tag and classify all of your clients, by industry, size, regions, etc. And that then holds for a powerful utility for us to filter our clients that we can then generate campaign lists. So Scoro's marketing module allows you to review past campaigns and how many contacts were filtered for that campaign to then surface a distribution list into MailChimp for MailChimp to then push out and then record and feed back into Scoro open rates of those campaigns. So the sales staff working in concert with marketing can actually have a look at those campaigns and see the effectiveness and the open rates produced without needing to have access to MailChimp directly.
Great. So all your segmentation is within Scoro, and then MailChimp can understand that and push out relevant content to the... Great.
And it will continue to manage your unsubscribes going forward as well.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking us through those integrations. I'm sure everyone will find that really insightful information. Now you've given us that information, I think really what I'm interested in understanding is kind of the next steps. So if people have found this useful to watch and they want to kind of go and get a demo and look a bit more closely, where do they go next to do that?
Sure. So certainly if you go to Scoro.com, you'll be able to sign up for a free 14-day trial. You can also access us via the App Advisory Plus directory. And you'll note there also just a promotional offer that we have for exclusive members to get 25% off our pro and custom onboarding plans with Scoro. So business clients through members will be able to receive a 25% discount off our onboarding plans, which will then effectively assist with the change management and setup of the application. But certainly trialing the system and even having a discussion with your clients about the benefits of the dashboards and the data that will be captured from a CRM, projects, time and resource planning standpoint will then sort of hold you in good stead for onboarding as well.
And obviously the onboarding side of it, that is really important to get that right. What sort of support is involved in these custom and pro onboarding plans?
Sure. So with the pro plans, we're able to effectively map out your business processes and build a solution that can then be verified and tested by the businesses before uploading data, further tweaks and customizations, and then ultimately training for admin and staff via the pro plans. And then the custom plans obviously can be extended to map more business processes, offer additional training for larger business audiences, and ultimately migrate greater amounts of current and historical data.
Fantastic. And what kind of saving is a business looking at there? If it's 25% off, what would a typical saving be?
Sure. So for a pro plan, you're looking at about £350. And then custom plans would vary based on number of seats, number of locations, and obviously the amount of data planning to be migrated. So yeah, that's why we sort of left it at 25% for the custom plans as well.
Brilliant. That's a fantastic offer there. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us today, Matthew. I'm sure everyone that's watched this is going to find it really useful. So yeah, just to say thank you and thanks to everyone for watching.
Thank you so much, Rowan. Pleasure presenting to you and the members of App Advisory Plus.